Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Capricorn December 2023 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant. Well, this month we have a very interesting deck for you to engage with. The theme of it is sub-Saharan Africa, and in particular the cultures of West Africa. So I think those people with an African heritage will probably have a good emotional response to it, but I think that you will anyway, because the imagery is so transcendent. It cuts across race and culture that hopefully I will find the poetic words to accompany it. And I think you'll have a great response to it, and I think you'll enjoy it, particularly for this time of year. Now, I have, over the course of the last month, done a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings for different people over FaceTime and Skype from different countries. And if you might be interested to find out what might be involved in that, at the end of the video, have a look at the description below. Now, over the course of the last month, I've also done a number of healings over FaceTime and Skype as well. Now, clairvoyant readings I charge for, I have to. But healing is something that the spiritual gift was given to me on the basis that I get nothing in return for it. So it's free, no obligation, no conditions attached, and you won't be sold anything by me or suggested anything by me, which is of a benefit to me. So don't feel shy in coming forward if you feel moved to have a feeling, a healing. Do you know, I've been doing this for over 40 years, and so I can assure you that there is nothing that I have not seen or heard over the course of that time, so I am completely non-judgmental. Now, as the subscribers know, there are no ads in here, so you get to see everything direct without interruption. Great to see the subscribers again as well. I appreciate you having me in your home. What is there here? Oh, what is this? The Five of Blades. Interesting image. This is the Nine of Coins. An interesting bird there. I'm a bit of a bird geek. Mama Staff. You'll see what I mean by these titles and images in just a second. There is the Five of Staffs, a couple of fives sitting on top of each other there. Should be interesting. We'll see what that means in just a second. And finally, what do we have from in here? This is the Eight of Gourds. Well, why don't you now come sit down here next to me? You and I will have a good close look at the artwork on these cards together while I do the reading for you. Just while I get the energy from these cards, you know, sometimes I look at the very small tarot channels, and there's one of them called Ministry of Tarot, which I came across. The lady who does it, of course, is very different to me, as you would expect, and yet I think she's authentic, which is unusual in this YouTube tarot-verse. Anyway, Ministry of Tarot, if you're looking for a small channel to have a look at and to spend 10 or 15 minutes, I think she does. What am I going to go with? That's Venus. This is let's have a look at this Venus card and what has it to say to you. Well, did I tell you I think I just mentioned it, I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to birds. Here we see a mature woman who has accomplished and acquired a lot in her life. Now, through the hardships, loneliness maybe, and lessons learned, she has earned the sense of self-satisfaction that she now really embodies. Now, above her sits this bird, and this bird is called, it's an African bird, and it's called a painted bunting. Told you I was a geek. And it's a species of bird in the cardinal family. Now, as animal totems in Africa, cardinals bring a vibe of confidence, energy, and higher intuition. They flow with the seasons effortlessly, with self-assurance, grace, and nobility, I would say. Now, behind the woman here is a herd of buffalo, or bison. Well, bison bring the power of survival, manifestation, and abundance. They teach you to harness these skills with ease, using your wisdom and knowledge to stay in harmony, remain grounded, and operate in a space of gratitude every step of the way. Now, as I mentioned, I've got Venus here, and this is Venus in Virgo, the second decan of Virgo, the 3rd to the 12th of September. Well, Venus is concerned with love and money and relationship, but love and money in particular. And these are both expressions of your own tastes and values, aren't they? Well, you'd be crazy if they weren't. And Venus is saying that if your heart is pure and you follow your heart, your life can only gain from this, and good fortune is going to attend your material affairs. So there's gain here for you, growth. I think love bonds here are wisdom. This idea of the more I give, the more I receive is coming through very strongly as well. There's a realization of your goals. There's a sense of material security and self-sufficiency. And I think that projects, situations, and relationships, they are going to come together to produce material gain. You will start moving ahead at this time. At last, you may say. So this is speaking to me of a general improvement in all areas of your life. Settlements, financial gifts, good luck and good management in financial affairs. Look, do you know that the highest task that life sets for you is to realize yourself? And this happens in carrying out the special tasks that are assigned to you and to me, to everybody. Retreating from your life's tasks out of fear or a desire to remain comfortable means denying yourself. You see, gain comes from giving willingly and lovingly. Giving in this sense means also giving yourself up to the cosmos, giving yourself fully to life, and the cosmic law of wealth is hereby fulfilled. The more I give, the more I receive. Now, if your knowledge and creativity are filled with love, you will gain from all situations in life. The more deeply you are engaged, the more comprehensive your insights will be. Do you actually know what is the highest goal in your life? Write down on a piece of paper in specific words, not abstracts, in real things, what you want. When you know what you want, all conversations and actions then fall into place. So check carefully whether that which you call gain is in full harmony with your ultimate goal. And everything that happens today happens to serve your growth. And say this to yourself: the more I give, the more I receive. Now, I spoke there about fear because sometimes you can be fearful about setting up on a course of action, but you never need to be, because if you make a wrong decision, just make another decision to fix it up. Let's have a look at this image, and I'm getting up from this a lot of fear. Now, it's Venus ruling the first decan of Aquarius, which is the 22nd to the 29th of January. Well, Venus rules Taurus, you know, and Taurus is an earth sign, like you, but here we have Venus ruling an air sign in Aquarius, and the two are at odds with one another. And Venus is a lover and not a fighter, whereas Aquarius is a rebel ruled by Saturn. And it's also got Uranus associated with it as well. Aquarius is a fighter, usually for courses. So that individualistic, dispassionate nature of Aquarius kind of clashes with Venus, which is the planet of relationship. And it may well be that Venus is, because this is a number 5, and I have an association with Mars at number 5, that Venus can get overwhelmed by the fiery and dispassionate nature of Mars. But this is good for you, this 5 here, because Mars is exalted in your sign. So what I'm just getting up from it is that when it comes to how you are going to be planning next year, that there is a fear of defeat that dominates. Now, it could be connected with relationships or more generally with the beginning of something which is of great importance to you. It is the fear of losing control, of experiencing the feeling that everything is slipping out of your hands, but this is not going to be the case. You see, the danger here is that the that fear distorts your view of the present and of the unknown in your future. And this can stop you from doing the things that you need to do. Now, I must say here also that there is the chance of a betrayal or a sneak attack by someone you trust and don't suspect as your enemy. Your fear could be the result of losing control emotionally due to previous hurts from relationships, or it could be connected with the workplace where you've had a bad experience that just stops you expressing yourself fully as your confidence has been lost. But let go of these feelings of fear and the energy which is bound up in these spears. That is going to be released and allow you to hunt down your prey. It could be a mental turmoil that you're going through, and that can sometimes turn into emotions because of the presence of Venus. But I think what's happened here is that, and the reason why it's shown up here in this great card of gain that's here, it's asking you to look at the world for what it really is without a fear of defeat. And it's saying to you, fear is irrational in nature, meaning that it doesn't necessarily reflect the real situation. Now, by recognizing this, you will be set free, and all these energies here will be set free. Energies that are bound up in fear. If you're afraid to see control slipping out of your hands, remember, the feeling that you are in control is just an illusion anyway. Nobody is in control of anything. And seeing, understanding, accepting, and letting go of your fear will set you free. Say this to yourself: I am not my fears. It is safe for me to live without guarding and defending myself all the time. When I feel afraid, I open my heart and let love dissolve the fear. I accept my fear, I name it, it loses its power over me, and I let it go. Then where do we go? Let's have a look and see. I want to have a look at this first, and then I'll get that which is on the way out, and then we'll finish with that. Here is a 5, is it? Hard to see under that light. 1, 2, 3, 4. Must be a 5. There's 5 people standing there. Gee, these young men look like they're about to go through an initiation ceremony. I see here challenge, rivalry, competition, assertiveness by you, and you basically almost going in there and bayoneting the wounded. Now, throughout our lives, we go through stages of development that bring us to rites of passage. And these rituals are ingrained in societies around the world, connecting the community to the individual and the individual to the community. Whether it be within a village or some college or job training, we must all symbolically transition from the innocent adolescence to well-prepared and knowledgeable adults. Now, to do so, we face challenges, tests, and competition with others to test our strength. And these trials also serve to draw out our individual abilities, and depending on the environment, we will either be nurtured to rise up or suppressed in order to conform. Now, what I see here is, I mentioned competition here. There's also some sort of a feeling of restriction around as well. Look, this is Saturn in the first decan of Leo, the 23rd of July to the 2nd of August. Saturn and Leo just do not get on, because Leo wants to be creative and express itself, while Saturn, your planet, is seen by some to be cold, dense, and wants to set boundaries and limits. Well, it certainly wants to do that with Leo. And Leo is a fire sign, of course, and here it's in a fire suit. And in the number 5 there, I have a mystical association of Mars, which is good for you, because it's exalted in your sign. And Saturn is coming along, and it's dampening down all the excessive behavior of Leo. Now, I guess this energy signifies that, ooh, sorry, I just bashed my head on that. There is here a general condition in which the creative power of the lion, Leo, is blocked by Saturn. Now, because the free flow of energy is greatly restricted, it's a danger it can stagnate, and this concentrated charge of energy strives vainly to find a possibility for expression. Life becomes a burden. But this presence of Mars here is very, very constructive for you. What I do see here is that you could well find that you are in the middle of a conflict, a tension, or a competition, and that is impacting upon your ability to move forward with your goals. Now, sometimes conflict can be positive because it demands that you re-engineer yourself, that you train yourself, that you get smarter, that you get bigger, stronger, faster, that you know how to do things. Now, this energy here often points to competition with, and it does here, it's pointing to competition with people or a person who has similar qualities and experience as you. They may be as attractive as you are. They may have a beauty, although different to yours, still someone that's beautiful and attractive. They may have a set of experience in the workplace which is the same as yours. Their resume may look the same as yours. And so if you have not encountered competition before, you will now, and you will learn what competition means. And more particularly, you will, with the aid of Mars here, your exalted planet, you will know what competition requires. So this is talking about you making sure that, like here, that you have no danger of resigning yourself to things. Now, Saturn, your planet, is reminding you, see, this is good for you. It's reminding you, as you know, that all things must be taken care of step by step. But don't let yourself be overwhelmed. Always look again to the flames behind these sticks, which burn on despite impediments. Now, when you draw this, as you have done, it's a sign that you are ready to face the situation, to do something about it, and to conquer it, to win. Now, what insurmountable obstacles seem to stand between you and the realization of your goals? How does the mountain of duties and tasks which stand before you now, how do they look? Go step by step and take everything a little easier, and say this to yourself: I am more and more capable now of expressing my feelings and my creativity in personal relationships and in work. Now, ordinarily, this card that I'm turning to next, I would say is troublesome, but I don't think it is troublesome for you. The reason being, first of all, let's have a look here. There's somebody who looks like they're almost levitating above a number of these gourds here, which all seem full. And it's like there's nowhere else to go. It's like there's nothing else to do. It's like, oh, what's the point? Everything's done. I can't do anything. There's a stagnation maybe that you get here, or an emotional blockage. Possibly a laziness. I see a swamp in a way around here. But I see Saturn ruling the first decan of Pisces, which is the 19th to the 28th of February. Now, Saturn is your planet, and you know how to deal in other signs when Saturn shows up. Because Saturn is bringing you structure, it's bringing you organization, it's bringing you the correct way to approach your responsibilities. Now, Pisces, of course, is intuitive, it's spiritual, and it's emotional. Now, for other people, I would say that Saturn could deaden the waters of Pisces, that Saturn would dominate and suffocate the joy of Pisces. And actually, in the number 8 there, I have an association with the planet of Mercury, which is in detriment in Pisces. But this very strong Saturn that's sitting there is one which says, look, sometimes it's necessary when things are full to work out how to get to plan B, How, when it appears nothing else, rather than just drifting off and going off into the ether, what practical things can I do? How can I be resilient, practical, organised, and work step by step? Because I know that brings me success. And that is what's going on here for you, although for different people I would say it would be something else. However, what I would say is, though, when sometimes you start planning, saying, see, you are very ambitious and you're very good at planning. What you don't want to do is you don't want to deny yourself pleasure. And you want to keep a sense of frivolous get up and go with you. And actually what I'm getting here also is that you want to make sure that your love life is in order, because I'm just for some reason getting that it could be an old behaviour pattern to always direct your love towards people from whom nothing comes in return. So there could be a sign here indicating your fears of accepting love. I just mention that only because it's come here. Anyway, what people come to mind for you in this context? Well, what situations do you really try and hide your true feelings? In any event, I do know that there is in the Old Testament, and I'm not selling religion, and I'm not, I'm kind of outside of religion, I suppose, but there is an angel. One of the names of God is Re'ahael, and it turns up in Psalm 16:5 of the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament, and it says, "The Lord is my allotted share and portion. You control my fate." Psalm 16 verse 5, I'm sure. Now, meditating on that, the Lord is my allotted share and portion, you control my fate, then with every step you take and each moment that passes, you will feel comfort, confidence, and a stronger sense of direction. Yeah, as I say, this energy which was trying to break into you is being overcome by Saturn, because there's some talk of a lethargy there, but I actually don't see that coming with you. In fact, quite the opposite I see with you. Let's have a look here and have a look at this image. Well, what I am getting around here is a lot of Aries and a lot of Pisces. Why am I getting that? I think it's because Pisces is going to be giving you sensitivity and inspiration, and Aries is going to be providing you with leadership and self-confidence. This is a time when you have mastered self-knowledge. You have looked deep into your own nature, which has led to a transformation of your being. Now, this is a woman. I'll refer to it as a woman, but of course it could be a man as well. A woman of adaptability, persistent energy, a calm authority, great powers of attraction, I have got to say. You'll have great magnetism. People are going to find you very sexually attractive during this time. In fact, I can see that you might also be sexually attracted to someone during this time, whether or not you happen to act upon it. Now, you can be generous, but I think you could also be quite intolerant and impatient with people who take opposing points of view to you. You have an immense capacity for friendship and love, but it really is at your initiative. You're not just going to let any idiot come into your life. In some respects, and I do mean this respectfully, there could be something of a self-complacent vanity, even a snobbery around you. Now, it's possible that you could brood, come to a wrong decision as a result, and react with some savagery. And there could be some times where you get the blues, which you will overcome with the booze. And that can bring its own problems up, where you can react with savagery, I think, here, and ill-considered fury. Look, you are someone who has got to where you are by resolving difficulties in the past, and now you are a stronger character. You are somebody now who's going through the process of self-discovery and remembering their power. It's time to express your natural power and beauty and move on from the past, because I think that you will know what you want. We were talking about that. Know what you want, and you'll have an active life, and you will be making a very powerful first impression on people. Look, you have worked on yourself and made progress. It's time to learn how to share this with others. Let your self-realization be expressed in your daily life. How can you share what you have found for yourself with other people? Say this to yourself. because it's true for you at this time. I am a radiant being filled with light and love. Well, what a great set of cards for you. Didn't you do a good job? Well done. Well, I told you that was going to be a very interesting deck, didn't I? And I think you'll agree with me that it was. I hope that you enjoyed the artwork as much as I did, and I hope that you enjoyed the reading as much as I did providing it to you. And if you did and you've made it this far, can you do me the great favour of, on the way out, hitting the like button and the subscribe button, because it's good for the YouTube computer, if you understand what I mean. But look, it's been wonderful to see you again. I hope to see you again next month, of course, unless I see you privately in between. But until then, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.